Hello and welcome to CFC Episode 5. This is a very special week where the crew behind the scenes comes on and talks about video games for half an hour. I'm Adam.
I'm Adam Smith.
I'm Emmy.
And welcome to CFC. How you guys doing today?
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty hyped for all the game talk we're gonna have too.
Yeah, we got a game talk bunkered down in the basement as a tornado goes on outside right now.
Yeah, my day's been pretty good, and I'd rather not end on a tornado, but it'd be pretty hard for a tornado to make my day worse.
Well, the best part about a tornado is you just get to sit inside and talk about video games for half an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, what else is there to do, really?
Play video games for half an hour.
Do homework.
Yeah, nah. But let's start off with a little bit of news today. There's a big Xbox Scorpio announcement coming out tomorrow. The unveiling, I guess.
What exactly is Scorpio as a non-Xbox player?
So,
Do you mind?
They've been talking about this for like 6 or 7 months now.
It was announced at E3 last year.
Yeah.
With just a project name.
Oh, okay, yeah. And they also announced the PS4 Pro at the same time, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
No, PS4 Pro was announced in the fall.
Oh, okay.
Xbox Scorpio was announced. No, actually, PS4 Pro came out in the fall, but it was announced at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're not really sure what Xbox Scorpio is right now. All we really know is supposed to be super powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Is it like an Xbox that's shaped like a Scorpio? Is it maybe like a controller is a Scorpio now? They had the Kinect, which kind of failed.
I think it's just a project name, but
I'm sure someone will make a fan-made controller or something that is in the shape of a Scorpio.
go with the Nintendo controller for the Nintendo Switch.
I'm not familiar with that, but it sounds great.
Yeah, so if you look at the Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons and the Joy-Con grip, it looks like a dog with floppy ears.
Oh my God.
So maybe something like that, but for the Scorpio.
Is the Nintendogs game coming out for the Switch?
No, Nintendogs was like a really old series.
Yeah, I had it back in the day.
It was a great game. You got to play and pet puppies all day.
It's like the best game ever. I mean,
Honestly.
I remember when the DS came out, my parents were like, you can either have a puppy or you can get a DS and Nintendogs. And I chose the DS and Nintendogs, so.
like,
You didn't want an actual dog.
I mean,
No,
it's Adam Glimpf here. He's dog hater.
Cat lover.
We shame him constantly.
Yeah, but back onto the Xbox Scorpio announcement. So what's interesting about this announcement is it being done by Digital Foundry. And Digital Foundry is basically it's part of Eurogamer, and they're the heads of, like, they're really good at analyzing games hardware. Like, this is how it runs, the frame rate, the resolution.
Like data mining or like
Frame rate comparisons and
oh, okay.
So, like, the way what's interesting about this is that Xbox is, like, going to basically, like, they're a PC thing. Like, they mostly do PC games and PC talk, and they're like, so it's giving this idea that Xbox is good enough to go up against PC games.
I mean, they've been kind of pushing that for about a year or so now. Like the whole integration with Xbox One and PC. Like, you could play your PC. I believe you could play your Xbox games on your PC.
Certain ones.
I'm not sure what extent what kind of a library that has, but they've been pushing that for a while. I don't think it really caught on, at least from my perspective. I don't think it will catch on even if they like promote it more with the Scorpio announcement. Personally,
There's only been a few games, but I think Scorpio is supposed to be like a console, and then the idea is, like, it's so powerful, it, like, these PC guys will love it.
I mean, I'm pretty skeptical about that because of, like, if you look at the last console generation, they were already, like, from release they were from release they were behind the PCs or gaming PCs of the time, and so, like, this is a mid. I guess you could consider it a mid console generation update.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to be enough for the consoles to keep up with the PCs because it's almost like.
I mean, it's never going to catch up with a PC because, like, they have to make, like, money. So, like, a top end PC is what, $3,000. So.
Well, I mean, if you think about it in the past, it's not like it's unheard of. In the past, they had the PS3 and the Xbox 360. Now, when those came out, those were on par, if not better than most gaming PCs at the time. Now, that was the last time that has happened, and it's kind of just gotten worse since with PS4 and Xbox One, and then most recently the PS4 Pro that was released, correct?
Yeah, the PS4 Pro came out in fall.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm, like, thinking, like, since Xbox essentially lost this console war. I mean, they did.
Yeah.
It's like, as an Xbox owner, it's hard to say, but they did. But it's like, I could see them being like, we're just going to, like, come out of the gate running.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, their sales have kind of rebounded, at least from the last time I checked. Their sales sort of rebounded since then, and I think it's less about people are suddenly want Xboxes more now. It's more about everyone already has a PS4, so they got to go buy the other console now. Yeah. But the Xbox Scorpio, as far as sales, what I would imagine, I couldn't see that many people getting it.
It's like people own the PC own the PS4, but I think what Xbox really is lacking is games, like those first-party console sellers.
I mean, personally, I think more so than ever, it's less about exclusives as far as the consoles go, and it's more about the power behind each of them because there's less exclusives, it seems like, less than there were in the last console generation. And there's also a lot more disparity between the consoles in each generation, and in the original generation for this current generation, and then this update that we just had.
Yeah, I mean, I think I personally care more about the games because, like, power. It's like, as long as the game's good, I don't care how it looks. Like, perfect example would be like Nintendo Switch. I want Zelda. I still haven't been able to get my hands on Nintendo Switch, but I know it's a weaker console, but it has the game I want.
So Breath of the Wild, I have heard several reviews about it, and it seems like it's like not an actual Legend of Zelda game. It's just so different because it's a lot more open world.
I heard it's return to form Zelda. Like original Zelda was open world. I mean, it was on the NES, so it was like, it was limited, but it was open world at the time.
Yeah.
And since, like, Ocarina of Time, they've been kind of falling into this linear pattern, and that's the idea, is that this is, like, the original, going back to that. You can do whatever you want, whenever you want.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I just know, like, a lot of people who grew up with Zelda, not on the NES, but, like, your Game Boy and stuff like that, they generally don't think of it as, like, an actual Legend of Zelda game.
Yeah, but I've also heard people say it's their favorite game ever. So
it looks great, and the storyline looks pretty solid. So
yeah, I mean, as a big Zelda fan, I'm definitely like, it's a console seller for me, back to like buying a console. But
okay,
the Switch just needs more games on it.
I think like as far as like the Xbox One, PS4 Pro, or Xbox Scorpio PS4 Pro console work would go. That's what I was talking about when I said I didn't think the consoles exclusives mattered. Now Nintendo's a different game because their like whole thing is first party games that they try to push out every year. They're trying to get away from that. They've got like a Skyrim, albeit not the HD version or the remastered version, but they have Skyrim coming out for the Switch. I'm not sure if that's came out yet.
No, that's coming out in June, August probably.
Yeah. And that's a third party thing. That's definitely something out of their like normal realm of things that they do, but it's not quite what I guess most people I think are looking for from like third party stuff, because that's a game that's it's not the re-release. It's the original Skyrim from what 2010, 2011. So like 6 years ago. So their console's just now catching up to the
everything. I'm like, that's like, I think it's more of like, we can do it now, because like the Wii U had zero first party games, but it also had zero third party games. Mm-hmm. I think it's more of it is like, we're looking at this now, we can do it. Yeah. But I think PlayStation PlayStation is destroying in the first party lineup.
Oh yeah.
Like you have Persona 5, Horizon Zero Dawn, what else? Not Nier is a console exclusive on that game, and then
Persona technically is too, because it Xbox does not take it.
I mean, they have a lot of like all the other games might be on PC, but it's console exclusive to Sony.
Yeah. But going back to why the console like war disparity, like there was so much of a disparity between the numbers. I think it was more so about the launch, like how they launched each console. And if you remember back in the day,
it was a TV like box.
The entertainment system Xbox One versus the actual gaming console PS4, and like it just did not work out whatsoever. They originally wanted you to have the what was it, it's the PlayStation Eye for the Xbox.
Kinect.
The Kinect, yeah. They originally wanted you to have it connected all the time so it could listen to you all the time, and it was taking up like graphics processing power.
Yeah.
So they eventually went back on that after they realized that no one cared about the Kinect.
Yeah, I think like honestly, I would love to see a Kinect now that like voice recognition technology has improved so much. Like Alexa and Google, Alexa's Amazon, Google, whatever they have, are like so good now.
It's just Google Assistant.
Oh, is that it? Yeah. And those things are like flawless voice recognition. So it's like instead of the Xbox One's Kinect, which was terrible.
Well, I think what the Kinects what they're trying to do with the Kinect is less about voice recognition and more about using I think it was infrared or was it sound to it's like the
So the Kinect had I had the Xbox One Kinect, and so it was basically two parts: motion gestures and voice gestures. The problem was it couldn't see your motions and it couldn't understand your voice. Yeah. So one of the things was like, oh, you could say Xbox on and it turns on. The problem was it doesn't understand the phrase Xbox One 90% of the time. So half the game of playing with the Xbox was trying to get it to turn on.
Or trying to get it to register what you did. Because I remember playing with it and I would constantly run into problems with it somehow, with the voice recognition, or it wouldn't pick up a movement I did.
Yeah, so that was that, and I hope tomorrow's announcement are here's a serious console, and we're like,
oh my gosh, if they butcher it, Microsoft's still gonna be around regardless if the Xbox One ever goes under or whatnot, but I think they really gotta sell it in this announcement, especially with their track record has been for past 5 years. They've definitely been doing better with what's his name, Phil Spencer.
Yeah, he took over right after the Xbox One launched.
Yeah, he's been pretty spot on his marketing and really just the direction of Xbox altogether.
So I hope tomorrow they're just I don't expect anything too flashy. I just want some technical specs and you kind of be hyped, be here's look at us for E3 and be get ready. We're actually gonna come out of the gate this time.
I mean, personally, I think there's a lot of it's gonna be a bit distracting for most people that are there, because for the Switch announcement recent.
It's just an article. It's not an actual press conference.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm thinking the Switch, how it's still so fresh, and it literally was just released the past month. I think.
Earlier this month.
I think it's gonna.
Last month.
I feel like it's gonna take away from the Xbox One announcement. I mean, that's kind of how it always is. They always get announced at the same time, but I feel like because it's not at E3 or whatnot that they're announcing this kind of thing, that it'll take away from it.
I think it's we're going to move on to a new topic here in a second, but I think it's more Phil Spencer's come out and said this is a console for the premium gamer, and I think the premium gamer is going to get this announcement tomorrow and be this is either something I want or I don't want. And that's what they need to do. They need to tell us what this is tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely.
But, all right. Time for a new topic. More news. A little bit of Overwatch news this week in the form of a teaser trailer.
Well, I haven't been playing Overwatch for that long technically, but I generally enjoy a lot of the storyline. That's probably, even though it's not in-game, given it's a multiplayer, I definitely think that they excel with story.
Yeah. With
the new comic release just today.
Yeah, that comic was really good. I don't want to go too much into it as it's so new, but...
No, but it definitely connects with the upcoming event.
Yeah, so the upcoming event is teased to be about the Omnic War. And
is that the war that they fought in, the original Overwatch team fought in back in the day?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So from the announcement, we know basically 3 things: that it's about Omnic War.
It'll take place on King's Row, right?
Yeah, King's Row, London's important, and probably Tracer's important. Because there is Tracer in the video, or in the teaser trailer. Not exactly, but I think it's more hinting towards a new skin than anything. Because the skin is you look at it that's a different skin, but it's kind of blurred in the background.
If you've read the comic, I think it's going to be the skins from those comics, and I think all the characters who are in it, who don't already have Anna, Gabriel, and Reaper and Soldier 76. I don't think they're going to get new skins, but I think the Overwatch members who are in the comic will.
They've confirmed, they haven't confirmed for this event, but they've confirmed Widowmaker and Hanzo are getting new skins.
I think this might be a little bit of speculation, but Overwatch came out in May last year, right?
Yeah, May 24th.
And we're getting pretty close to May. I think they might be going towards they might be starting some sort of cycle, as far as yearly cycles of adding new content to the game.
Yeah,
that's what I'd imagine. That's what Blizzard does with Hearthstone. I'm not sure what they do with World of Warcraft or what's that other game that they have, Heroes of the Storm. I'm not sure if they do that with those, but I feel like they're gonna start announcing that kind of thing with this teaser.
Yeah, I think we'll have this event, and then the next event will probably be their year 1 event.
Yeah, it's definitely a kind of a dead season for them right now, because there are really no Well, after the launch of Overwatch, of course, they had like the Rio Olympics, then they had Halloween and Christmas.
Yeah, it was actually interesting. Is like I was watching and reading some stuff on this, and they're like, this is the first non-real world event in the game.
Yeah, because they said they're not doing an Easter one. They didn't do Valentine's Day, so it's definitely like a dead sort of time period right now for holidays. They need something.
Yeah. So here's what I'm going to go into speculation here about what I think this event is. I think this event is going to be both a PvE and a PvP event, and so I think the PvE event is going to be you're facing Omnics, and it's gonna be kind of like a horde mode like they had at Halloween. And I think for lore, I think they're gonna do a PvP mode where you have to be on the correct side. Like they'll pick a couple of characters to be at like King's Row, and they're like, so you might have like Tracer and like maybe Reinhardt or something.
Mercy and
yeah. So it'll be like 3v3, and they're like assigned teams. So it'd be Overwatch versus like maybe like Widowmaker and Junkrat and. Drawing a blank on all the villains. Yeah, you get my point.
But if it's about Omnics, would you then consider maybe Zenyatta a villain?
Not necessarily, but I could see that. Like I could see, like I feel like it's gonna be like not necessarily like good versus evil, but I feel like it would be like here's the Overwatch characters PvP lore, like a lore-based multiplayer.
I'm pretty interested in seeing like Hanzo and Widowmaker getting new skins because I think it's been like two like events since they got new skins.
Yeah, actually,
and they've been heavily
McCree. Sorry,
McCree. Oh,
it's either Hanzo or McCree. I can't remember which one.
It's just sometimes they favor characters a little too much. It's obvious, like with Tracer, she constantly gets new skins, and I'm like, that's interesting and that's great, but like as a person who does not play Tracer, I would like more characters to get skins.
Well, I mean, I think the reason they do that is because it's the Tracer. I mean, personally, when I think of Overwatch, that's the character I think of. Tracer's sort of like the poster child for Overwatch, right? I mean,
yeah, she is. But usually when I think of Overwatch, I usually think of my main.
Yeah, that's true. But I think Tracer's one of the more played characters, so I'm like, it makes sense to like, I'm not saying how Overwatch does things, but it's like, it makes sense to give more skins to people who
are more heavily played. Yeah.
So I mean, I definitely want everyone to have skins, but I'm like, like I'm definitely like looking forward to getting more skins because I've never really got into skins, but there's some new ones I'm kind of like want to go get them.
Yeah, personally, I like getting the skins from just playing the game, but I'm not gonna like go out and buy the skins personally. I've never been into one for like playing like using the free to play model to gain some sort of like less than worthwhile like piece of content from a game. I mean, if it's DLC and it's like actual like content such as I don't know, a new map or sometimes they have like new weapons. I mean, that's worthwhile for my like money, but I would never like buy skins personally.
Yeah. So like back to like maining, what are your guys' mains?
It depends really on what the team needs, but usually I'll go support with either Mercy or Symmetra.
Okay, you're one of those Symmetra annoying people.
I'm not a Symmetra annoying people.
You play Symmetra.
I'm not a Mei, okay?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Please don't hate me. I play Mei.
Cut off his mic.
It's this. Oh, I've told you guys about this, but I had this one Mei where I was playing as Symmetra, of course, and it was the capture the flag. And this Mei, every time I was trying to go anywhere, and we were on attack, so it was already going to be difficult enough to set up my turrets before like people start running in. She kept putting up her wall in like the worst places, so I could never get around them, and just for me. And it just,
I always hate
I'm bitter.
Trolls. I was just like, I always hate trolls because like I'm just trying to have some fun here, but yeah, my main, I either go Zarya or Pharah. I'm just like, it's because it's like kind of like a support player, but they're like, it's like, but you're also like can do a whole bunch of damage and survive by yourself.
Personally, my main that I usually use it's either gonna be Mei, please don't hate me, and Diva. I guess I usually use the most. But if it kind of really just depends on what the team needs. I'm definitely not a healer. That's the only thing I really won't go for. So like if they got 5 people, it's like we need a healer. I'm not going to be the person to volunteer for that, mainly because I'm not very good at it. But
you just need to do that damage.
Yeah. So like, but if I'm on defense, I also generally pick what's his name, Torbjorn.
Torbjorn.
Yeah.
I've got great plans for you.
I love Torbjorn. He's generally the one I pick if I'm on defense. Him or Mei, kind of depends on the map. Like for May is or May is better for like choke points personally, in my opinion. But like a lot of corners, that's better for Torbjorn.
Yeah, I usually like if I always pick a tank or a support. Like tanks are fun because it's just kind of like I'm just gonna sit here and shoot stuff and you guys can't kill me.
Mm-hmm.
And supports are kind of like I find them more chill because it's like you just have to focus on your team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like personally, like I like playing tanks, but only if I have a friend who's playing a healer. Otherwise, it kind of like ruins the whole like tank experience because like you do have a lot more health, but at the same time, like you got a lot of those DPS characters that just destroy your health like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's and like personally, I've definitely seen a kind of a big difference when I played Diva. Now when they nerfed her, like it wasn't a huge nerf. It was it was they increased her damage per shot, but they decreased how fast she shot. So like I mean, when you're just kind of like me and I kind of just spray and pray with Diva, it kind of gets annoying when I'm like missing so many shots just because I'm not shooting as many shots in general,
right.
like per second.
You have to do more. Like your shots matter more now.
Mm-hmm. I mean, what are your all's opinions on like the nerfs that they've recently done?
I wouldn't call them nerfs. I call them more rebalancings. They haven't really nerfed a character outright.
Well, I mean, I mean, personally, I think there's nerfs and there's buffs. So those are both balancing.
Didn't they just like recently, like a month or two ago, like buff Mercy?
Mercy hasn't been touched in a few months.
I heard of like a Mercy buff, like
I think
a month ago.
think she might have, but the last thing they buffed or rebalanced was Bastion, and then coming next is the Lucio rework. And
does he needs a buff, right?
He's not getting buffed, so essentially they're giving him more of a niche. Instead of being him just like you can run around and be like heal everybody in your area and stuff. He's like, you got to be in the action. You're more mobile now. Like you get speed boosts for running on walls, but the area effect you have with your songs are now tighter.
Yeah.
And I think you do more damage with your gun.
Okay, yeah.
So you could be more like attack Lucio.
I don't know if that's really attack Lucio, but it's more like you're more of a flanking healer now.
Yeah,
that's what they're.
Yeah,
going.
that's attack Lucio.
Lucio's kind of ridiculous in my opinion, but I very rarely play Lucio. I find he's kind of difficult to use, but I guess I'm just not a healer person. If I do a healer, I play what's his name?
Zenyatta.
Yeah, Zenyatta.
Zenyatta's fun.
Then yeah, I like because he's versatile. Unfortunately he's just not as good of a healer as Mercy, so it's kind of like a jack of all trades kind of thing.
What you were talking about with like as like a healer and a tank. Usually, if I'm a healer, it's just easier to have a tank because you build up your res quicker. And while I do focus on other people, I'll usually more so focus on the tank because you'll be like usually at the front lines taking a lot of damage. So
yeah, it's just the most efficient use of your healing. Generally, it's the biggest target, and so.
All right. Well, I think it's about time we move on to our next topic. So, all right, this is probably gonna be our only gaming podcast this semester, which means E3 is just around the corner. I want to hear what you guys want from this year. Like, what do you want to announce? It doesn't have to be what you think's announced, but what do you want announced?
I would like Red Dead Redemption 2 to get a release date. I am super pumped for that. I hope they don't do what they did with GTA. Although I'm pretty sure they will, and give it they'll focus on the online aspect of it, where they didn't like GTA 4 had two pretty decent DLC expansions, like single player, but then GTA 5, granted all the DLC they gave was free, it was all online and kind of just fizzled out personally for me. It was all paid stuff. So
it's all free stuff for GTA 5.
Well, it's paid in the when I say paid, I mean it's the free to play model where you've got you can buy it. You either buy it you either buy in-game money and buy the DLC. It's not. You buy the shark cards.
Yeah, it's like cars and stuff. It's not like content where you're blocked out a map or something.
Yeah. You have the option to buy shark cards, which is just buying the in-game currency, which you can get by yourself, but it's really hard to get. Especially as of the past year or so. I used to farm it pretty well, and then they took away one of the most popular ways to get the currency, and that kind of just killed the game for me. Yeah. Red Dead Redemption 2, and I guess. Something to do with the PS4 is I think the PS4 needs more console exclusives. I'd like to see a new IP personally. I'm not.
I would be kind of interested if they actually did announce a new IP because they just had Horizon. That was their new IP. So I think they might kind of sit under laurels for the fall.
Okay.
For E3 for me, I definitely want more games announced for the Switch, because I have a Wii U and not a lot of games on there were that great. And while there were some good ones, they just weren't for me. So I definitely think Switch, like, they're working on a new Fire Emblem game for the Switch, and maybe like moving Smash Brothers.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see an announcement. I don't even think that might be before E3, honestly.
It might be, but I would still be interested in it.
Yeah, I want them to announce Virtual Console and like Smash and basically all the good stuff, all the old stuff. I wanted to come because I just want to be like, I just need this one tablet to do everything.
Like, how long ago was the last Smash Brawl? I mean, Smash Brothers.
Last year.
That's like, so you're releasing another one though. Like, that's,
Like just porting it over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like they're doing with Mario Kart 8. Like they're giving it deluxe with new cars and stuff, new better graphics. I want that work for Switch.
And maybe like I don't know, maybe the downloadable characters are just already on the base game.
Yeah, maybe a couple new characters. I imagine it's coming.
Like a sort of Game of the Year edition. Although I don't think Nintendo ever calls any of their stuff Game of the Year.
No, it's just here. Buy more Nintendo stuff. But yeah.
I will buy Nintendo stuff. Don't.
I would totally.
Don't try me.
I would totally look for that coming out in the exact same price point as it came out on the other consoles, because Nintendo likes to do that.
Everybody does that.
Yeah. Well, I think Nintendo's probably the worst offender, like keeping their supply and demand just right to where it keeps the price up.
Yeah. At least they're not like Activision, who's like, you want an old Call of Duty game? Buy the new one, special edition.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they're probably going to announce a new Call of Duty on the at the next one. Maybe the speculated World War II one, which I'd be super excited for if they did.
That's probably going to come out. But it was just like, but I personally, I want the new Xbox IPs. They've been teasing them. They said they're coming. They're like, we have something new heading this year. I want to know what that is. All right. Well, it's about time we wrap up. So it's time for a question of the week. What are your guys' favorite movies?
Okay, so I'm like, my favorite movies always change, and it feels like every time I will go watch a movie, that's my new favorite movie. So I'm gonna say that Logan right now is my favorite movie. I really love Hugh Jackman as an actor. Before that, I mean, I guess as of recently, La La Land was great. I don't really have like a favorite movie from like way back that I can say personally.
My favorite movie. Jeez, I never even think of it. I do watch a few movies, but I'd have to say my current favorite movie would have to be Moonlight. I love the cinematography. The score was great, and all the actors did an amazing job. Just like kind of like an older favorite movie, probably Iron Man 1. I think that was the best portrayal of the Iron Man character in the entire cinematic universe of Marvel.
I can agree.
I would agree, yeah.
I feel like that was I don't want to say the peak of the Marvel franchise, because
it was the peak of the Marvel franchise.
I really like Captain America.
I wouldn't say it's the peak. I mean, it'd be kind of sad if it was the peak, because that's like the beginning. Like, it's the first one.
Yeah.
That's when they started like the Marvel Cinematic Universe for what they got. So that means it's all downhill from there.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the origin stuff. I don't think the origin Captain America film, but I think Winter Soldier was probably the best Captain America film. Definitely, though, Marvel has gone so astray from its like actual self, though.
They just have a formula that makes money, and they're sticking to it.
I mean, personally, I can't get enough of it. So
yeah, which is nothing wrong. I mean, it's just like
I'm gonna still spend my money on it, no matter how critical I am of the franchise.
I mean, everyone has that. So it's like, something's like, it's kind of like bad, but I'm like, I gotta have it.
It's Marvel or DC, and I mean,
Wonder Woman.
I enjoyed myself at Suicide Squad, but it definitely wasn't a good movie.
Yeah,
Suicide Squad was pretty trashy, I'd have to say.
Yeah, but as long as you're enjoying yourself, it's kind of like, what do you go into the movie to get? If you just want some fun, then a Marvel movie's great. You're gonna have fun no matter what.
Suicide Squad's one of those movies you have to go into the movie theater and think, I'm gonna go turn off my brain for about an hour or so, and then come back.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of movies where you just like turn off your brain, but I'm just like, one is like, you just gotta like set your expectations for the movie. Like, if you go into like Marvel expecting like some commentary on life, then you're going to be kind of let down. Well, a lot let down.
Have you guys seen the most recent Spider-Man Homecoming trailer?
I have.
In that, there's a scene with Peter, and one of the things he's doing, he's in gym with his friend, I think Ned, and there is a fitness video for Captain America. And generally, the joke about it is that, like, why is there a fitness video of Captain America in the public schools? Because his entire origin story was, I did some drugs, now I can bench press a helicopter.
That's funny. All right. My favorite movie of the week is Snowpiercer. It's been a while since I've seen it, but it's
Snowpiercer is amazing, and Chris Evans is just a great actor.
Oh yeah, it was like I went in and it was just like I didn't know what to expect, but it was just like at the end I'm like this was a great movie. And
Don't
like,
babies taste great?
I'm not familiar with the movie. What's the movie about?
Matrix meets the Polar Express. That's the best way to describe the movie.
It's actually really accurate.
Okay.
I mean, it's about it's about society. It's post-apocalyptic. The last remaining humans lived on this train that are going around the world, and you got the social classes, and people who are rich, people who are poor, and fighting for justice, and it's like this whole almost like a psycho thriller in some ways. And it's really, it has a lot of interesting takes on stuff.
Okay, so is it a lot of commentary on like society?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you're not gonna be like beaten over the head with it, but there's also like points where you're like, wow, this is like saying something here.
Okay.
To the best of my knowledge, it's still on Netflix.
I have no idea.
Oh, it was on Netflix for a little bit though.
All right.
I mean, personally, I'm just gonna look at it on like a pirate website or something.
Don't put this in the podcast.
Remember, support your favorite movies by streaming legal. All right, it's about time we wrap up. Thanks. Have a good week.